listen, I'm not crazy. I don't expect licensed games to be perfect. Anytime you sit down with a licensed game, you go in with sort of like you're grading on a curve, you know? If this is okay, that means it's a great licensed game, right? That's usually how it goes. Nothing can be GoldenEye, nothing can be the Disney games from Capcom, you know? That's just not the world we live in anymore. Although that's what I thought. Until yesterday, I played a game called South Park: The Stick of Truth. And I have to tell you, you know, listen, I just started it. I'm not, you know, I don't have a definitive verdict here. But if it's not the best licensed game I've ever played, it's certainly, I've never played a licensed game that embraces its license better than that game. It's unbelievable, and I'll have a review soon. Although I gotta tell you, it's still blatantly anti-ginger, which I obviously have a problem with. But you guys know as well as I do that Derek can't play all good games all week. It just wouldn't be, that wouldn't be allowed somewhere. I don't know, I have to look at the contract or something, I don't know. Apparently there was some e pluribus unum, etc., etc. Fact un vericatum. Somewhere in the etc., etc. there was something about me playing shit games all the time. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, if you go over to Classic Game Room right now, ClassicGameRoom.com, here's your programming note. I've got a shitty game that I reviewed. It's called Bo Jackson, 2 games in 1 for the original Game Boy. And it's a baseball game and a football game in one. It's like the Megazord of Game Boy sports games, which is to say, it combines all the suck into one. There can be only one. Actually, Mark's got a bunch of weird stuff this week too. He's actually he's doing a whole week of Atari games. It's Atari Week at ClassicGameRoom.com. We're right in the middle of it, so you should also check that out over on the website, as well as my review of Bo Jackson, 2 games in 1. But then tomorrow, I got another baseball game because it's getting warm out. The weather's finally starting to break here in space. You know, baseball players, spring training's well underway. There are baseball players playing baseball somewhere. So there is hope. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm very excited about it. And so I'm playing some baseball games here over at ClassicGameRoom.com. Tomorrow, I'll have a review of a Game Gear baseball game called The Majors Pro Baseball. What's interesting is, you know, obviously the Game Boy, sort of, you know, in the original handheld console war, the Game Boy sort of trounced the Game Gear. And for good reason. It had a library that just much, much better. No, the libraries don't even compare. But I've always thought the Game Gear obviously had its advantages too. I thought the hardware was better. You could actually see the screen. And I also thought it had better sports games. And one of the many examples of that is the Majors Pro Baseball. You'll be able to see my review of it, and you'll actually hear me say good things about a Sega platform tomorrow on ClassicGameRoom.com. How amazing is that? Well, you can tell it's a change of seasons, because I'm changing my tune on Sega. Actually, I still don't like their consoles, but their handheld Game Gear I was okay with. But hey, here's an idea. Let's go over to the forums, over to the WinSquid Pub. Let's answer some of your questions. First question today comes from Sega of my house, who, actually it's not even a question. He saw me on Ring of Honor's TV show last week. And yeah, it's like I said, he's even got a picture of me cheering my heart out for Mr. Wrestling, Kevin Steen. Actually, if you caught that episode, I was practically assaulted by one Cliff Compton, who came over and ripped up my Kevin Steen sign, the big jerk. He's lucky that there was a barrier there. I would have not run away. I would have stood up for myself. Anyway, yeah, I've been on Ring of Honor television the last like all the shows that were filmed in Pittsburgh. You can see me in the front row a lot during the show, especially the last one where Kevin Steen wrestled Kyle O'Reilly in the main event. So yeah, if you like really good wrestling and you like Ring of Honor, you should watch the Pittsburgh episodes from the last month. You'll see me all over the place, talking trash, brother, telling these, you know, flexing. And my hair looked amazing. Although, you know, that's usually the case anyway. And on a related note, our old pal Wrist Star Cowboy wants to know how much money it would take, or any other item for that matter, to get me to shave my head. I know he also wants to know about TJ's response to that. I can't speak for TJ, but obviously, I mean, look, do you guys even see this? Who would cut this, and why? You know, listen, it would take a lot of money. Although, listen, I'm also not going to say that I wouldn't do it. There's not much I wouldn't do for the right amount of money. Every man has a price. Ted DiBiase. I've got a lot of prices, and they're not that high. So there's not much I wouldn't do for a quick buck. So, you know, I don't know, let's say 50 grand. Maybe less than that. Maybe more than that. I don't know. But it would take, the point is it would take some cash. I'm not doing it for free. I'm not doing it for cheap either. You know, you get one shot at greatness on this planet. I found my greatness. It's my hair. I can count on one hand how many people have hair as wonderful as mine. And guess what? They're all hot chicks. Which is to say I have better hair than any other man on the planet. Except, you know, there are a couple guys who could probably compete. I don't want to get into that right now because then it just gets weird if I start flattering men. So anyway, yeah, I'm not cutting my hair. You know, I'm gonna keep it until I lose it, and hopefully I never lose it. I want to be the old guy with the big white beard, and then I don't want my hair to go white, but eventually it will. I'm okay with that. I want to look like Gandalf someday, and I'll come on ClassicGameRoom.com and I'll say, "You shall not play this game, cause it sucks. Derek. That was my name once. That's what they used to call me." All my impressions end up sounding like Sean Connery when I try to do old guys. "Oh, you shall not pass." Go to the website, watch our reviews. Clearly I'm having a hell of a day. Cut my hair, what's wrong with you? Why don't you cut your hair? A wrist star cowboy? What a name. I'll see you guys Friday.